Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Before we dive into yet another fascinating and mysterious stories, I would like to invite you to watch, to like, and subscribe to the channel. Also activate the notification sound. Greetings, radiant spirit, seeker of profound truths. You have been guided here, to this moment, to this sacred space of reflection. Understand that everything in your life, every facet of your being, carries a unique resonance, a numerical property, a vibrational signature, from the name lovingly bestowed upon you at your arrival, to the precise coordinates of your dwelling place, to the very date that marked your entrance into this earthly realm. These are not random occurrences, not mere labels, or coincidences. They are keys, codes, whispers from the divine. The very foundations of your current life experience, your birth date, a celestial marker of your soul's entry, and the name your parents chose imbued with ancestral hopes and energetic patterns. These two primary numerical sources hold a universe of information, a wealth of insight about your soul's journey, your life's destiny. They speak of your inherent personality, your innate strengths, your potential challenges. They illuminate the unique, beautiful talents you came into this life to cultivate and share with the world. Once you begin to understand these personal numbers, these sacred vibrations, you unlock a plethora of knowledge, a divine compass, at your disposal. This knowledge can help you find your true status, your authentic place in the grand cosmic dance. It can guide you to live in deeper harmony with your higher self, your divine essence, the key to a life of genuine contentment, of soul-level fulfillment. Often lies in making conscious choices that resonate with your inherent numerical vibrations, choosing loyal friends, whose energies complement your own, selecting life partners with whom your numbers sing in harmony, finding living spaces whose vibrations support your growth and well-being, engaging in hobbies and, crucially, pursuing work, a calling that aligns deeply with the core frequencies encoded within you from birth. This is not about limitation. It is about liberation through understanding your unique divine design. The ancient sage Pythagoras, a name that echoes through millennia of wisdom, profoundly understood that the world, indeed the entire cosmos, is built upon the power, the harmony, the intricate relationships of numbers. This understanding, this numerology, often evolved into systems of divination, and even what some might call magic, or sacred science. Because both these systems, divination and sacred science, are rooted in the broader, fundamental concept that the universe itself comprises intricate mathematical patterns, divine geometries, celestial harmonies. Everything, from the grandest galaxy to the smallest particle, can be expressed in numbers, and these numbers, Pythagoras taught, correspond to universal vibrations, to divine frequencies. As a result, all things, including names, words, birth dates, birthplaces, significant events can be reduced to their essential numerical values, and through these numbers, insights can be gleaned into people's personalities, their potential destinies, their innate gifts, their karmic lessons, their fortunes and misfortunes. Pythagoras is often, and rightly, hailed as the father of Western numerology. It was he who articulated the profound idea that even musical intervals, the very essence of harmony, could be expressed through simple numerical ratios, particularly involving the numbers 1 through 4. These foundational numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 held immense significance for Pythagoras. He believed they formed the sacred tetractys, a triangular figure of 10 dots, and that their sum 10 1 2 plus 3 4 equals 10. Represented cosmic perfection, the completion of a cycle. He further demonstrated that this cycle of numbers, 1 through 4, and indeed all numbers, could be seen to start off anew, to find a new octave, when reaching the number 10 dot, and that numbers larger than 9 could be reduced to a single essential digit by simply adding their constituent digits together, revealing their core vibrational essence. Pythagoras and his followers held a deep conviction. The universe itself speaks in the language of numbers. Early Greek philosophers, building upon these Pythagorean foundations, further contributed to developing This mystical system of numerical interpretation, specific characteristics, virtues, and even personalities were assigned to integers, creating a rich tapestry of symbolic meaning throughout the ancient history of numbers. The very way the ancient Greeks recorded numbers, often using dots arranged in geometrical figures, like the tetractys, was one mechanism that enabled and reinforced the assignment of these qualitative characteristics. Numbers were not just quantities, they were qualities, energies, divine principles. Consider, for instance, the ancient Greek understanding of odd and even numbers. Odd numbers, those that could not be easily divided or separated into two equal whole parts without a remainder, were often considered to be masculine in their energetic nature. They were seen as possessing the generative, active, projecting parts, representing qualities like assertiveness, initiative, power, creativity, outward expression. The indivisible nature of odd numbers spoke of focused strength, singular purpose. Even numbers, conversely, those that could be readily split into two equal halves, and thus were seen as having openings, receptive spaces, were often considered feminine in their energetic essence, representing qualities such as receptivity, nurturing, wholeness, stability, magnetism, and sometimes, from a certain perspective, even perceived weakness if not balanced. Due to their divisibility, this wasn't about superiority or inferiority, but about recognizing complementary cosmic energies. Within Greek mythology and later mystical traditions, specific numbers carried profound weight. The number 888, for example, is often associated with the higher mind, with divine consciousness. Intriguingly, in Greek isopsephy, the name Isis Eta Sigma Omicron Sigma, the Greek form of Jesus, has a numerical value of 888. Iota equals 10. It, a igual a 8. Sigem, a igual a 200. Omicron equals 70. Upsilon equals 400. Sigma equals 200. Total é igual a 880. This numerical resonance was seen by many early mystics as a hidden confirmation of Christ's divine nature, his embodiment of the Logos, the divine mind. In contrast, the mortal mind, the unredeemed earthly consciousness, was sometimes symbolically represented by the number 666. This number, as you may know, is infamously referred to as the number of the beast. In the New Testament's book of Revelation, its interpretation has been a subject of intense debate and speculation for centuries, but its core association often points towards opposition to the divine, the purely material, the unilluminated consciousness. The interpretation, the sacred significance of numbers, was also highly valued in early Hebrew history and mysticism. The very letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the sacred script in which the Torah was written, were also understood to be based on, and correspond to, specific numerical values. This intimate relationship between letter and number was not seen as arbitrary. It was believed to be divinely ordained, linking the building blocks of language and scripture to the fundamental cosmic forces, the creative utterances of God. The teachings of mysticism, an ancient Jewish esoteric tradition, focused on ascending through heavenly realms to behold the divine throne, spawned a profound form of numerical mysticism, particularly during the Middle Ages. German Kabbalists, inheritors and developers of this mystical stream, further refined and expanded upon gematria, a complex system of mystical numerical interpretation applied to the sacred scriptures. They sought hidden meanings, divine codes, and deeper layers of understanding within the Torah. By analyzing the numerical values of words and phrases, the number 10, as we touched upon with Pythagoras, held a position of supreme importance for both the ancient Greeks and the Hebrews. It was widely considered the perfect number. Pythagoras believed that 10 encompassed all arithmetic and harmonic proportions. It represented completion, wholeness, the return to unity after the unfolding of the digits 1 through 9, like God. He considered it indestructible, a foundational principle. All nations, he observed, naturally use a decimal system, because when they reach 10, they intuitively return to 1, beginning a new cycle. The heavenly bodies themselves, according to some Pythagorean schools, were thought to be divided into 10 orders or spheres, and within the profound system of Jewish Kabbalah, there are 10 Sephiroth. These are understood as 10 divine emanations from Ein Sof, the infinite, the absolute nothingness beyond conception. These 10 Sephiroth numerical and qualitative aspects of God's unfolding into creation combine to form the sacred tree of life, Etes Koyem. This tree of life is a cosmic map containing all divine knowledge, all archetypes of creation, and showing the path for the soul's return. Its journey back to union with God. 10, therefore, is not just a number. It is a symbol of divine order, completeness, and the very structure of reality. Aside from the deep occult or esoteric meanings attributed to individual numbers, another fundamental principle of numerology, particularly within Jewish and later Christian mysticism, is gematria. Gematria, also sometimes referred to as cryptography in this context, is the practice of assigning numerical values to letters and then calculating the numerical value of words or FO phrases. In Hebrew, the consonants of the alphabet also serve as number signs. By combining these letters with numbers, often with the implied vowels, words can be read as both linguistic statements and numerical values. The medieval Kabbalists based much of their number magic, their esoteric interpretations, on a sophisticated combination of gematria and Pythagorean number symbolism. This methodology allowed for a special multi-layered reading of the Hebrew Bible, a way to uncover hidden meanings, secret connections, divine codes believed to be embedded within the sacred text by its divine author. This unique system of interpretation was not confined to Hebrew scriptures. It has also been applied by various mystics and scholars throughout history to Greek texts, including the New Testament, and even to Latin. For example, the infamous number 666, denoting the number of the beast in the Book of Revelation, has been subjected to countless gematria interpretations over the centuries by calculating the numerical values of names in Hebrew, Greek, or Latin. Various historical figures have been proposed as candidates for this enigmatic number. Names like Nero Caesar, whose name, when transliterated into Hebrew and calculated, can yield 666, and later, figures such as Martin Luther by his opponents. Various popes like Leo X, also by opponents, and even Napoleon, have been assigned this number through gematria, often driven by polemical or prophetic interpretations. This illustrates how gematria can be used not only to seek divine wisdom, but also to assign symbolic, often charged, meanings to individuals and events. Numerology, particularly in its occult or esoteric applications, is frequently employed as a tool to discover hidden meanings behind events. To understand the deeper significance of names and dates, and even to forecast potential future trends or personal destinies. When used in these ways, numerology clearly transforms into a form of divination, a method of fortune-telling. It is often combined synergistically with other divinatory arts, such as astrology, which itself is based on celestial numbers, cycles, and positions, cartomancy, divination using cards, like tarot, where numbers are often key, geomancy, divination by earthly figures or patterns, and dream interpretation, where numbers appearing in dreams are given significance. Once numerology is employed in these divinatory forms, it inherently becomes magical in its worldview. As a theory, such number magic has deep Occidental roots, often attributed, as we've seen, back to Pythagoras and his school. The underlying system theorizes that all things are, in essence, numbers, or at least possess a core numerical vibration, and crucially, it posits that these numbers, these vibrations, directly influence the essence, the nature, the destiny of things and beings. As a result, number serves as a mystical bridge, a conduit, between the divine, unseen realms and the mundane, material world. The profound implication, from this magical perspective, is that when one performs specific operations on numbers, calculations, meditations, symbolic arrangements, invocations, using numerical formulas, these operations are believed to directly affect the things, the people, the energies related to those numbers. Numbers become not just descriptors, but active agents of influence. This principle, of numbers carrying inherent power or influence, is seen at its most basic level in common cultural beliefs and superstitions surrounding certain numbers in many Western cultures, for example, particularly in American culture. The number 13 is widely considered unlucky. As a result, many people actively try to avoid anything associated with this number. The 13th day of the month. Especially if it falls on a Friday, the 13th floor of buildings often skipped in elevators, having 13 dinner guests, and so on. The belief itself can create a sense of unease or negative expectation. Interestingly, this is not universal. In Belgium, for instance, as your text notes, wearing or possessing the number 13 is sometimes considered a good luck charm, particularly for women. This highlights how cultural conditioning can shape the perceived power of a number. The negative connotation of the number 13 in some cultures often stems from the biblical account of the Last Supper, where Judas Iscariot, the betrayer of Christ, is traditionally considered to have been the 13th apostle to be seated or present. However, an earlier, perhaps deeper, concept influencing the perception of 13 emphasizes its relationship to the number 12. 12 is a highly significant number in many ancient systems, often associated with cosmic completeness and divine order. The 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 months of the year, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 apostles of Christ. 12 often represents a perfect cycle, a harmonious whole. 13, therefore, being one beyond 12, can be seen as disrupting this perfection, representing a break in the cycle, something beyond established order, potentially chaos or transformation. This concept has strong positive associations in Babylonian and other early astral mythologies, where the 13th element could signify a transcendent power or a new beginning. The power we ascribe to numbers is often a complex interplay of ancient symbolism, cultural belief, and personal experience. During the 19th century, a period of significant scientific discovery and exploration, particularly concerning the invisible forces of light, magnetism, and electricity, the ancient theory that numbers correspond to energy patterns or vibrations gained renewed popularity and a more scientific framing. The idea emerged that numbers weren't just abstract symbols, but represented distinct frequencies, vibrational rates that influenced matter, consciousness, and destiny. This harmonized with the growing understanding of the universe as a dynamic interplay of energies. Within modern numerology, certain numbers are given special status. The numbers 11, 22, and 33 are known as master numbers. They are considered highly potent, carrying a greater intensity, a higher spiritual charge. A key characteristic is that in most numerological calculations, where single digits are sought, these master numbers are often not reduced further to a single digit. For example, 11 is not reduced to 1 equals 2, unless specifically analyzing its foundational energy. They are seen as possessing a unique, amplified vibration of their own. It is often believed that individuals whose core numbers in their numerology chart, like their life path or expression number, calculate to 11, 22, or 33, are often souls who have come into this life with a higher spiritual potential, a greater capacity for achievement, or a more significant, challenging life mission. They are often seen as old souls or spiritually developed people. These numbers carry both great potential and great responsibility. 11 is often associated with intuition, spiritual insight, illumination, idealism, and even psychic abilities. It's the number of the spiritual messenger, the visionary. 22 is considered the master builder. It combines the intuition of the 11 with a powerful capacity for practical application. The ability to manifest grand visions into material reality, often for the benefit of humanity. 33 is seen as the master teacher, the number of profound spiritual service, compassion, healing, and unconditional love. It represents a high degree of spiritual evolution, sometimes associated with an avatar consciousness. a being who incarnates to uplift humanity through selfless service and divine love. The number 33, when lived to its highest potential, embodies Christ's consciousness. Now, let us speak of something many of you may have experienced. Those subtle nudges from the universe, synchronicities, particularly numerical synchronicities. Have you ever found yourself waking up almost every night, glancing at the clock, and seeing it read 3:33 a.m.? Or perhaps, every time you're on the road, your attention is inexplicably drawn to cars with license plates featuring the number 111, or 444, or some other recurring sequence. Maybe you've noticed your last 3 trips to the grocery store resulted in bills like $17.17, $23.23, and $35.35, the same digits repeating. Or you realize, with a jolt, that every significant address you've ever lived at has contained the number 15. These are not mere coincidences, beloved. These are often gentle, persistent nudges from the universe, from your spirit guides, from your angels, from the divine mind itself. They are messages encoded in the language of numbers, the foundational principles of numerology. Much like other metaphysical arts, rest on the understanding that everything in the cosmos happens for a reason. There is an underlying order, a divine intelligence at play. This includes even those seemingly strange random events that you might be tempted to dismiss as mere coincidences. In the world of numerology, in the interconnected web of divine communication, there is truly no such thing as a pure coincidence. So, if certain numbers, specific sequences, or particular numerical patterns begin to repeatedly appear in your life, in various contexts, it is a clear signal that you should pause, take notice, and inquire into their potential meaning. The universe is trying to get your attention. Numbers are literally everywhere. You encounter them constantly, every single day. From the clock on your wall, to the prices in a store, to the dates on your calendar, to the channels on your television, to the addresses on buildings. The universe, a term we use here to refer to the overarching divine intelligence, God, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, or any other benevolent divine forces actively involved in your life, often takes advantage of this widespread availability, this universal language of numbers, to send you subtle messages, guidance, encouragement, warnings, or confirmations. Remember that each individual number, from 1 to 9, and the master numbers 11, 22, 33, carries a general archetypal meaning, a core vibration, a set of associated qualities that have been understood and interpreted by numerologists for centuries. Learning these basic meanings can provide a valuable starting point for deciphering these messages. However, while these general meanings provide a framework, you can, and indeed you should, go deeper. The most potent interpretations often arise when you combine the traditional understanding of a number's vibration with your own intuition, your personal experiences, and the specific context in which the number appears in your life. You are encouraged to apply your own definitions, to listen to what that number, that sequence, feels like to you. What thoughts or feelings arise when you see it? What was happening in your life or in your mind just before it appeared? The universe speaks a personalized language through numbers, tailored to your unique understanding and journey. Trust your inner knowing. Meditate on the numbers that appear, ask for clarity. The answers are often found within your own heart, illuminated by divine guidance.